Long ago, in the earliest days of the earth, when generations of people had multiplied across the land, the world had become filled with violence, corruption, and wickedness. People no longer cared for one another. They ignored what was right and chose their own ways, turning far from God. But among all the people, there was one man who stood different. His name was Noah. Noah was a righteous man. He lived with integrity, obeyed God, and walked faithfully even when everyone around him chose evil. Because of this, God looked upon Noah with favor. God saw how deeply broken the world had become, and his heart was grieved. He decided to cleanse the earth of its corruption through a great flood that would cover everything. But God would not destroy everything. He chose Noah to preserve life. God spoke to Noah and gave him a divine instruction. Build an ark. This was no ordinary boat. It was massive, designed to carry Noah, his family, and animals of every kind. God gave Noah detailed instructions. The ark was to be made of strong wood, covered inside and out with pitch to make it waterproof, built in 3 levels, with rooms for animals and supplies. It was enormous, far bigger than anything anyone had ever built. Though Noah had never seen rain like what was coming, he obeyed. Day after day, under the sun, Noah worked. People around him laughed, mocked, and questioned him. Why build a giant boat on dry land? But Noah did not stop. He trusted God. After many years, the ark was finally complete. Then something extraordinary happened. Animals began to come. From every corner of the earth, they arrived in pairs, male and female, lions and lambs, elephants and ants, birds filling the sky, creatures of every kind. It was as if an unseen hand was guiding them. Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and their wives entered the ark. And then God shut the door. The sky darkened. Thunder rolled. Rain began to fall. At first, it was a gentle drizzle. Then it grew stronger and stronger, until the rain poured endlessly. For 40 days and 40 nights, rain fell without stopping. At the same time, waters burst up from beneath the earth. The floodwaters rose higher and higher, covering fields, swallowing homes, drowning mountains. Everything outside the ark was consumed. But inside the ark, Noah and his family were safe. The ark drifted on the endless waters. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. There was no land in sight, only water stretching to the horizon. Inside the ark, animals were fed and cared for. The family waited patiently. Faith was their only God, saw how deeply broken the world had become, and his heart was grieved. He decided to cleanse the earth of its corruption through a great flood that would cover everything. But God would not destroy everything. He chose Noah to preserve life. God spoke to Noah and gave him a divine instruction. Build an ark. This was no ordinary boat. It was massive, designed to carry Noah, his family, and animals of every kind. Anchor. For 150 days the waters covered the earth. Eventually the waters began to recede. The ark came to rest on the mountains. Noah waited. Then he sent out a raven. It flew back and forth. Next he sent a dove. The dove returned. There was no place to land. 7 days later, Noah sent the dove again. This time it came back with an olive leaf in its beak, a sign. Life was returning. After another 7 days, the dove was sent again, and this time it did not return. The earth was ready. God told Noah it was time. The door of the ark was opened. Fresh air rushed in. Animals stepped out one by one onto dry ground. The earth was renewed. Noah built an altar and gave thanks to God. Then God made a promise, a covenant with Noah and all living creatures. Never again would a flood destroy the entire earth. As a sign of this promise, God placed a rainbow in the sky. The rainbow became a symbol of hope, mercy, and a fresh beginning. As Noah and his family stepped out of the ark, the world felt quiet, almost sacred. The air was fresh. The earth was clean, washed from the corruption of the past. Everything felt like the very first morning of creation. But this was not the beginning of the world. It was a second chance. Noah and his family stood as the only humans left, chosen to start again. Before building homes, before planting crops, before doing anything else, Noah worshipped. He gathered stones and built an altar to God. From the animals that had been set apart, he offered a sacrifice, not out of fear, but out of gratitude. This act mattered deeply. It showed that Noah understood something powerful. Survival was not luck. It was grace, and God was pleased. Then God spoke again, establishing a covenant, not just with Noah, but with all future generations. God blessed Noah and his sons, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth once again." Humanity was given authority over the earth, but also responsibility. Then came a deeper instruction, respect for life. God made it clear that life was sacred. Violence that had once filled the earth would not be ignored again. To seal his promise, God gave a visible sign, the rainbow. Every time rain would fall and clouds would gather, a rainbow would appear, a reminder that God's mercy would always stand above judgment. It wasn't just beauty in the sky. It was a message. I remember my promise. Life slowly began again. Noah became a farmer, working the soil of the renewed earth. Seeds were planted, crops began to grow, and animals multiplied. Civilization had to restart from scratch. No cities, no systems, just family, land, and faith. From Noah's 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, the nations of the earth would eventually spread out again. From Noah's 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, the nations of the earth would eventually spread out again. Every culture, every people group, their roots trace back to this moment. But even a righteous man like Noah was still human. One day, after planting a vineyard, Noah made wine and drank too much. He became drunk and lay uncovered inside his tent. This moment revealed something important. Even after great faith and obedience, people can still fall. What mattered next was how his sons responded. One son dishonored him. The others covered him with respect. This moment would shape future generations.